Hello, welcome back to the fourth episode in a series of videos I started a while ago on Spotify for creators as well as YouTube. It's time for another episode of Taco and Text Adventure Tuesday. For those who are new to this podcast series, this is from Video Gamers Oasis originally, and this is a podcast where I eat a taco, thus the name Taco Tuesday, but this is Taco and Text Adventure Tuesday. So what I do is after eating the taco, we play together a retro text adventure game that many of us Generation Xers and some boomers have grew up as a child playing these really old text-only games, adventure or RPG games that required the mind's eye, the imagination instead of graphical games. They had these text games where you type in the direction the hero must go. And this is a really, really fun game we've been playing so far is Colossal Cave Adventure. Roberta Young, I believe. Let me check this. My notes here. The adventure walkthrough that we've been using is the Adventure Gamers walkthrough. Adventure Gamers walkthrough of Colossal Cave. You can look it up on the internet. I'll provide a link in the description. This information has been very helpful for me, and we've already made it to the 2-pit room where the plant was stored. We're going to quickly share the screen before we move on. Share the screen. So, just want to show you what I've done so far. So here we're at the adventure game where we're at the bottom of the western pit in the 2-pit room. This is where we last left off. There's a large hole in the wall about 25 feet above you. There's a 12-foot tall beanstalk stretching up out of the pit, bellowing, "Water, water." So this is after we watered the small plant. It grew into a 12-foot tall beanstalk. Now, what we're going to do after, we're going to find out. We're going to move forward in the adventure and see if we can gather more treasures to add to our well house. So this is where we are right now. Just want to quickly stop sharing just for a moment. I want to show something else. I'm having a little problem with my share screen right now, so we'll fix that in just a moment. there's my game right there. The 12-foot stall beanstalk. And here we have the map on my Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop. The map of Colossal Cave, Adventure. Here is the map of the Y2 room. We've already been there already. We're supposed to drop our treasures in this room. Now let's continue on with our adventure. Now, as always, before every text adventure reading and gaming, we're going to proceed with the taco eating. Just a moment here. I'm still too new to this software, so I do appreciate your patience with this in this regard. All right, share. Now, and this is on my King Hun scanner. By the way, pardon me, I have very bright lights in my studio and they make my face sweat. So I do appreciate your patience while I dab my face. There we go. Now, as you see here, here's the taco. Very delicious taco, by the way, I must say, because I already ate one of them. But the night made it very, very attractive presentation this time. Here we have the taco here. We have the nachos as well as very mild salsa. Why mild, you say? Don't you like spicy, Jeremy? I do. But the reason I'm having spicy this time because I've had a lot of spicy food, extremely spicy food, past few days, and has caused me. Let's say, you know that scene from Dumb and Dumber, where one of the characters goes to the bathroom. That was me. It had an extreme. I ate too much spicy food. I love spicy food, and I will continue to eat spicy food, but I've got to watch not to have too much, because if I have too much, I'll be rocketing to the moon from the toilet. So, just a little word to the wise: enjoy your spicy food, but know your limits. And this video is brought to you by, of course, this is the, I'm tapping the box. This is the Old El Paso bold nacho cheese flavored hard shell tacos. As well, I've combined the soft shell tacos from Taco Bell. It's the French side here. Here's the English side. Crunchy and soft taco craving kit. And this, of course, is a really great kit as well. It comes with hard shell tacos, but what happened was I ate all the hard shell tacos. I prefer hard shell over soft shell, so all I have is soft shell left over in this one. So I combined the hard shell from Old El Paso with the Taco Bell crunchy and soft taco. As well, besides the actual taco, I also have, this is a big shout out. I'm not being paid right now by Hereford, but Hereford is the meat that I used for my taco. Hereford luncheon meat. It's chicken based with salt and other natural chemicals. I chopped it up and I stir-fried it with some barbecue sauce, as well as as well as the Taco Bell sauce, with some chopped up onions, and it was chef's kiss, as you will see very soon. I've also put some lettuce and tomatoes, chopped up onions, of course, chopped up tomatoes that I mentioned already. Yeah, that's basically the, oh, not to forget the plain yogurt. I really like plain yogurt. It's really a great alternative to sour cream. It's a lot less fattening, a lot less cholesterol than regular sour cream, and I do like to watch what I eat. I'm on an extreme dietary person, but I do like to pick the less fattening of the two. And plain yogurt has been very, very satisfying for my needs, and I do appreciate it very much. So here is the nachos, here is the plain salsa. We'll proceed with the eating in just a few seconds. First of all, as I always do, I put my hands over my food and say a quick grace to thank, some say God, Heavenly Father, or Heavenly Mother, the universe. I am very thankful for this food. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this food. It's always important to have a spirit of gratitude in whatever you do. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so now we're going to enjoy our taco. Obviously, we're just eating one taco here. The whole podcast is not about eating tacos, but it's eating one taco. So let's proceed with the taco eating and test it out. We have hard shell and soft shell combined. I'm so excited about this taco. Robust, creamy flavor. Not garlic, but creamy. That was a good taco. It's very important to bring a napkin with you. Tacos are sloppy. There's no way around it. You have to have a nice TV tray with a metal tray, as well as a towel and an apron if you can. Some H2O, Brita water. Oh, that's so refreshing. Especially after a taco. You can really taste the... Oh, did I mention there was cheese? I forgot to mention. My apologies. I had Havarti cheese chopped up as well as the taco. I neglected to mention that. Very satisfying, robust, and very meaningful taco. A little salsa. And we have some leftover nachos here. I'm not going to eat them all. But we have yourselves a scrumptious, crunchy, and soft taco. So you can really hear the crunching through the microphone. So bottoms up. That was a refreshing bottle of filtered water. I use glass bottles because, just for me personally, glass bottles taste better than plastic. I'm going to cover the lid here. We're going to finish that nacho sometime later off the camera. We don't need to bore you with the entire nacho dinner. Just plain nachos with mild salsa. So I'm going to put that to the side. Okay, I'll get my keyboard all set to go. All right, we are set to go. Got my keyboard out. We are ready to rock and roll with our adventure game to continue on. I'm going to stop sharing. Now I'm going to quickly close my window with the broadcasting of the King Hun scanner, and we'll continue with our game. And here we have it. We're at the room where the 12-foot tall beanstalk is stretching out of the pit. Now let's get my reading glasses here because it's small print. Now here we have head to 2-pit room. Click on plant. After going to the 2-pit room with the plant, the instructions say to go east to Swiss cheese. So let's find the Swiss cheese room. East. Just a moment here. East. There's no way to go in that direction. You're in a west pit. There is a 12-foot tall beanstalk stretching up out of the pit, bellowing water, water. Up. You're at the west end of a 2-pit room. The top of a 12-foot tall beanstalk is poking out of the west pit. Okay, so we had to step out of the pit before we could move. Now we want to go east to the Swiss cheese room. East. You are east. You're at east end of a 2-pit room. Top of a 12-foot tall beanstalk is poking out of the west pit. I'm going to go east again. You're in the Swiss cheese room. Excellent. So once we're in the Swiss cheese room, we need to go northwest exit to orient. Let's look. Look. You are in the room whose walls resemble Swiss cheese. Obvious passages go west, east, northeast, and northwest. Part of the room is occupied by a large bedrock block. I'm going to try something a little weird. I thought I saw the walkthrough say southeast. We can always go back if we need to. So we'll save as today's the 28th. Save this as Swiss cheese room. Swiss cheese room. And I can always go back if I mess up. So I want to go southeast just to try what happens. Southeast. There's no way to go in that direction. You're in the Swiss cheese room. So we can't go southeast. Look. You are in the room whose walls resemble Swiss cheese. Obvious passages go west, east, northeast, and northwest. So the instructions say to go northwest to orient room. Northwest. This is the Oriental room. Excellent. Ancient Oriental cave drawings cover the walls. A gently sloping passage leads upward to the north. Another passage leads southeast, and a hands and knees crawl leads west. There's a delicate, precious Ming vase or vase here. So we'll save our game. Save. We will save this as the Oriental Room. This is progress, my friends. Progress. So we'll save this as Oriental Room. And this is important because this is important to complete our mission in these caves. So once we go to the Oriental Room, this has a random success chance, so keep trying till it works. Inventory, lit lantern, axe, bottle, empty. So let's inventory. Let's look up our inventory. 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 You are currently holding the following: a brass lantern, small bottle, and dwarf's axe. That's everything we need. And once we are in the Oriental Room, we want to head north to Misty Cavern. It doesn't say to pick up the vase though. Okay, so let's go in Oriental Room, head north to Misty Cavern. North, the instructions know what they're saying. North, you are following a wide path around the outer edge of a large cavern. Far below, through a heavy white mist, strange splashing noises can be heard. The mist rises up through a fissure in the ceiling. The path exits to the south and west. So once we go there, to Alcove, head north to Misty Cavern. Take west, head north to Misty Cavern. I think we're in the Misty Cavern already. The mist rises to the fissure of the ceiling. So once we're in the Misty Cavern, take west, exit to Alcove. West. You are in an alcove. A small northwest path seems to widen after a short distance. An extremely tight tunnel leads east. It looks like a very tight squeeze. An eerie light can be seen at the other end. So I'm going to save the game as Alcove. Alcove. It's very important that we save our rooms. We can always go back to them if we mess up. In case. So we're in the alcove. To alcove and drop entire inventory on the ground by the tight gap. Drop items. So I don't know the word items. It says to drop inventory. Drop inventory. Drop inventory. You are currently holding the following: brass lantern, small bottle, and dwarf's axe. Drop axe. Okay. Drop bottle. Okay, and drop lantern. Okay, so once we drop those items, it says to drop the entire inventory on the ground by the tight gap. We've done that. Walk into the crack to pass into Plover room. So let's look. You are in an alcove. A small northwest path seems to widen after a short distance. An extremely tight tunnel leads east. It looks like a very tight squeeze. An eerie light can be seen at the other end. We've got our items, our lamp, our bottle, and our axe on the ground. So the small northwest path seems to widen after a short distance. An extremely tight tunnel is east. So we want to go east. You're in a small chamber lit by an eerie green light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. There's an emerald here the size of a plover's egg. Excellent. So once we get to the emerald, collect emerald on S end of room. Take Take emerald. Okay, we've taken the emerald. Let's save. Alcove. Emerald. Taken. So we've taken the emerald. We want to save that progress. Once we've taken the emerald, continuously walk between Plover Room and Dark Room, north, until you learn the Plover magic word. Okay, so we have to go north. North room. North direction. North. There is no way to go in that direction. You're in Plover Room. Look. You're in a small chamber lit by an eerie green light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. I should have went northeast. That's what I should have did. So I'm going to go northeast. It is now pitch dark. If you proceed, you will most likely fall into a pit. It says to continuously go through Plover to the dark room until you learn the magic word. Northeast. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, you will most likely fall into the pit. There's no way to go in that direction. Keep going north. North. There's no way to go in that direction. You fell into a pit and broke every bone in your body. Oh dear, you seem to have gotten yourself killed. I might be able to help you out, but I've never really done this before. Do you really want me to try and reincarnate you? Sure, why not? Let's restore our file where we left off. And we'll go to Alcove, Emerald Taken. Okay, look. You're in a small chamber lit by an eerie green light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. Let's inventory. You're currently holding the following. An egg says emerald. So we got the emerald. But what we want to do now is after continuously walk between the Plover Room and Dark Room till you learn the Plover magic word. You have to exit through the tight crack and recollect inventory. Let's look again. Look. You're in a small chamber lit by an eerie glow. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. Collect emerald and continuously walk between Plover Room and Dark Room to learn the Plover magic word. Exit through tight crack. I have to learn the Plover magic word. Northeast. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, you'll most likely fall into a pit. Look. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, you'll most likely fall into a pit. Let's go northeast again. There's no way to go in that direction. North. There's now pitch black. If you proceed, you'll most likely fall into a pit. There's no way to go in that direction. How about south? You're in Plover Room. Look. You're in a small chamber lit by an eerie green glow. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. But I don't know the password. Continuously walk between Plover Room and Dark Room. North until you learn the Plover magic word. North. There's no way to go in that direction. Northeast. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, you'll most likely fall into a pit. How about north? North. There's no way to go in that direction. Northeast. There's no way to go in that direction. How about east? There is no way to go in that direction. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, you'll most likely fall into a pit. Are you trying to explore beyond the Plover room? Yes, please. I am prepared to give you a hint, but it will cost you 5 points. Do you want the hint? Yes, please. Yes. There is a way to explore that region without having to worry about falling into a pit. None of the objects available is immediately useful in discovering the secret. There is a way to explore the region without having to worry about falling into a pit. Well, that's helpful. How am I supposed to use that? None of the objects available is immediately useful. Let's see here. Use emerald. Sorry, emerald light. You have no source of light. That's not helpful. Feel floor. Floor. I don't know how to apply that word here. Oh, you fell and broke every bone in your body. Oh dear, you seem to have gotten yourself killed. I might be able to help you out. Yeah, sure. I want to reincarnate. Yes. And restore. Let's see if we can get this emerald out of here safely and get that password. You're in a small chamber lit by a green light. I want to go northeast this time. North, dark quarter, northeast, pitch black. And it says here, continuously walk between the Plover room and dark room. So you go north until you learn the Plover magic word. Exit through tight crack. North. It is now pitch black, dark. If you proceed, you're most likely to fall into a pit. There's no way to go in that direction. North. So let's go. It says exit through the tight crack. West. Would that help? There's no way to run that direction. It's now pitch black. East. You fell down the pit. This is frustrating. Yes. Store. You're in a small chamber. It says to go collect the emerald on the south end of room. Continuously walk between Plover room and dark room, north, until you learn the Plover magic word. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. So we want to go north. Tunnel exits to the west. You're in an alcove. There's a lamp shining nearby, an empty bottle, and a little axe here. Yes, but I didn't learn the secret word, did I? So let's restore and look. It says northeast is the dark corridor. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, you'll most likely fall into a pit. So once we do that, we want to go east. There is no way to go in that direction. Yes. Restore. Just a moment here. Let's look here. All right. I'm going to quickly look at my my previous instructions from the previous instruction manual and see if I can find a different way of doing this, or a different way of understanding it. Where is the emerald? Okay, drop the axe. It says go east. Northeast, pitch black. North. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, you most likely fall into a pit. There's no way to go in that direction. How about east? There's no way to go in that direction. How about north again? There's no way to go in that direction. East. There's no way to go in that direction. You fell into the pit and broke every bone in your body. I went east. Maybe I should have gone north. Restore. Oh, wait. I have an idea here. So previously, just before I fell in the pit, I went east. Let's see. Emerald. East. North. I'm backtracking. East. And north, I believe. Alright, so let's see if that makes a difference. If I go a different direction. Instead of going north, instead of going east, I should go north. So let's try that. So restore. Restore. Yes. Restore. And we want to go back to where we were, the alcove. So let's look. Let's go northeast. Northeast. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, you'll most likely fall into a pit. So let's go north. It is no way to go in that direction. We want to go east. You fell into a pit. Yes. Let's reincarnate, please. And restore. And we want to recall where we left off. Let's look. Northeast. Let's try to go east this time. There's no way in that direction. Go north. North. And north. How about north again? North. You fell into a pit. Let's see if we can figure out a way to make it past this. Make it past the alcove. Northeast. Look. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, you most likely fall into a pit. Continuously walk between the Plover room and dark room. North until you learn the Plover magic word. North. Oh, you fell into a pit again. Yes. Restore. Alcove. Look. You're in a small chamber lit by eerie green light, and an extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. Collect emerald on the south end of the room. Continuously walk between the Plover room and dark room north until you learn the Plover magic word. So it doesn't say you have to go to the dark room, does it? It says to walk between the Plover room and the dark room. Exit to the tight crack. So let's go north. Let's try north. There's no way to go in that direction. You're in the Plover room. Look. You're in a small chamber lit by an eerie green light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. You're in a small chamber lit by an eerie green light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. So it says to continuously walk between the Plover room and the dark room. North. You're in the there's no way to go in that direction. How about north again? There's no way to go in that direction. North again. North. North. You're in a small chamber lit by a eerie green light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. I guess I gotta go northeast. North and northeast. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, you'll most likely fall into a pit. Tell me to do something. Help. I know a place's actions to speed up the game. That's not what I want. Look. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, you most likely fall into a pit. North. There's no way to go in that direction. How about south? You're in the Plover room. Are you trying to explore beyond the Plover room? Yes. I am prepared to give you a hint, but it will cost you 5 points. Do you want a hint? Yes, please. There is a way to explore the region without having to worry about falling into a pit. Well, tell me it. None of the objects available is immediately useful in discovering the secret. Well, how am I supposed to find it? South. West. Lamp shining. Take lamp. Okay, now go. I want to see if I can take west exit to alcove. Walk into the crack. Pass into Plover room. Look, you're in an alcove. An eerie light can be seen on the other end. East. You're in an alcove. There's an empty bottle here. There's a little axe here. Okay. You're in the alcove. How about east? Something you're carrying won't fit through the tunnel with you. You best take inventory and drop something. Well, that's dumb. Drop lamp. East. You're in Plover room. Emerald. What do you want to do with the emerald? Wall. I don't know how to apply the... You're in a small chamber lit by an eerie green light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. Let's go northeast. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, most likely fall into a pit. East. Use emerald, let's see. Light. You have no source of light. I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to deal with this. Continuously walk between Plover room and dark room. South. You're in Plover room. North. There's no way to go that direction. Northeast. It is now pitch black. You most likely fall into a pit. And let's go south again. You're in Plover room. Northeast again. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, you most likely fall into a pit. And south. You're in Plover room. And let's go northeast again. It is pitch black. If you proceed, most likely fall into a pit. And south. You're in a small chamber lit by a green light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark tunnel leads northeast. Corridor north. Plover room. And northeast. And north again. And northeast. There's no way to go in that direction. South, Plover room, northeast. South, northeast. South, northeast, south. This is getting me nowhere fast, so I'm going to see if I can find a walkthrough very quickly. I don't like to do this, but I'm going to have to look it up because it's just taking too long just to figure out a simple emerald realm, and I want to get this emerald. I want to get the secret password right away. What's it called again? How to get... Let's look this up. Excuse me. To get let's see if we can move on from this. How to get Plover secret magic word Colossal cave adventure. There must be something here. So there's a lot of walkthroughs. To get the Plover magic word in Colossal Cave Adventure, you must first find the Plover room and repeatedly enter and exit between the Plover room and the Y2 room to hear the word Plover. This process involves entering a specific room in the cave, locating a unique Y2 marker, and then using the Plover word to teleport. Here are the steps to acquire the Plover magic word. Okay, here we go. Find the... Just a moment, just check something for a moment here. Alright, so the AI Google walkthrough says, number 1, find the quote-unquote Y2 rock. First, go to the large room with the large Y2 on the rock in the center. Enter the Plover room from the Y2 room, where you can find a way to the Plover room. The Plover room is called this because it contains an emerald the size of a plover's egg. Learn the word Plover. Once in the Plover room, you'll find that typing Plover teleports you to the Y2 rock. Repeat to learn the word. Keep typing Plover to go back and forth between the Plover room and the Y2 room. A hollow voice will eventually say Plover, and this will give you the magic word. So from the Y2, we enter the Plover room. From the Y2 room, you can find a way to the Plover room. The Plover room is called because it has emerald. Learn the word Plover. Once in the Plover room, you'll find that typing Plover teleports you to the Y2 rock. So to find the Plover room, repeatedly enter and exit between the Plover room and the Y2 room to hear the word Plover. Saying Plover. I wish there was a more detailed walkthrough. How do I deal with the dark room just past the emerald room? Maybe this will help me. This is the toughest puzzles in the entire game. You're not kidding. You're not kidding about that. This is one of the toughest puzzles in the entire game. Well, the room that the emerald is in is called the Plover room. Often in the game, a word will be used to go to the room nearby. If you don't feel like remembering the exact direction to go, you can type slab when in bed quilt to go to the slab room, for example. So typing Plover from a room adjacent to the Plover room will get you to the Plover room. But you get goofed up and type that in the Plover room itself, you will discover that Plover is yet another magic word that teleports you to the Y2 rock. And typing it again teleports you to the Y2 room, to the Plover room. So knowing this, it is a simple matter to go to the Y2 room, lamp in hand, and type Plover to go to the Plover room. Bypassing the tight squeeze that forces you to drop the lamp. And when you can go northeast and visit the dark room, it's only one room, containing one treasure and rather whimsical message. Well, that was weird. Is there something else I can do? Find the Plover room and repeatedly enter and exit between the Plover room and the Y2 room to hear the word Plover. So we have to enter and exit the room? West. You're in alcove. It is a lamp shining nearby. Empty bottle here and little axe here. East again. Plover. West. East. West. East. West. East. West. There's got to be a walkthrough that would help me exactly what I need to do. No. There's got to be another walkthrough. If I can find another walkthrough, maybe I can find another one that will be more specific to what I'm looking for. Colossal. Colossal cave adventure game. Walkthrough. I'm looking at Sierra Help. Maybe this can help me. Maybe this can give me what I need to know. So we're in a different walkthrough now. So I'm looking at the part where I get the emerald and find the secret password. So I'm in the Plover room. Can you give me the Plover password, please? Or how do I get there? Let's see here. Okay, here, use Plu and return to the Oriental room. Head north and east to the alcove and drop everything. Go in, say Plover to activate the Plover command, which takes you between this room and the Y2 room. Say Plover to return. Excuse me. Note that using Plover will not carry the emerald, so you can't use that word to pop the emerald out. So take the emerald and walk west. Get your stuff and walk around to the Y2 room. Use Plu to drop the emerald off before you start using that Plover word. Now say Plover to pop in and head northeast to get the pyramid. Okay, so get your stuff, walk back to the Y2 room. Use Plu to drop the emerald off before you start using that Plover room. So use Plu and return to the Oriental room. Okay. I kind of forgot about that. So you want to go west and get your stuff, walk around back to the Y2 room. Head north and east in the alcove and drop everything. Go in, say Plover to activate the Plover command, which takes you between this room and the Y2 room. Say Plover to return. Okay, let's try this again. Let's go east. You're in extreme small chamber with the eerie light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. So let's say Plover. It is now pitch dark. If you proceed, you most likely fall into a pit. Let's go west. You fell into the pit, but oh, I didn't do this. Yes, I want to reincarnate and restore, please. Now we're going to go back to the emerald taken. You're in a small chamber lit by an eerie green light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. What if I go northeast, pitch black, south, Plover room, northeast, pitch black, and south, northeast, and then south, northeast, and you'll proceed, you'll most fall into a pit. South, northeast, south, northeast, south, northeast. It is now pitch black. If you proceed, you'll most likely fall into a pit. Are you trying to explore beyond the Plover room? No. South, northeast, south, northeast, south. Out of the shadows behind you pounces a bearded pirate. Har, 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 ye turtles. I'll just take all this booty and hide it away with me deep in the maze. He snatches your treasure and vanishes in the gloom. You're in the Plover room. If the pirate steals your treasure, the pirate can begin showing up after 5 minutes have elapsed since you encountered the axe throwing dwarf in Hall of Mists. This means he can steal your treasure at any point during these trips. Since our inventory management is quite tight, it can be rather inconvenient and you might need to make 2 trips through this maze. After your treasure is stolen, the pirate hides his own treasure, the chest, in a maze alike. Once we collect that, the pirate will never again bother us. There are 2 approaches to this point. So we're gonna avoid all that nonsense with the pirate, and we're gonna restore one more time what we were going to do originally. We've got the emerald. All right, we've got the emerald. We're not doing the pirate right now, but we're going to what we're going to do. And this walkthrough on SierraHelp.com, big shout out to that website, is we want to find the emerald, use Plover and return back to the Oriental room, say Plover and return. Alright, go in, say Plover to activate the Plover command, which takes you between this room and the Y2 room. Say Plover to return. Note that the Plover will not carry carry this emerald. I'm going to see one more time. Plover room, emerald, Colossal cave, magic word. In Colossal Cave, the term Plover Room refers to the room containing an emerald, while the magic word Plover teleports you between the Plover Room and the Y2 room. To get the emerald, you must enter the Plover Room from the Orient L Cave by dropping the inventory and passing through the tight gap. To reach the adjacent dark room, you must be in the Y2 room, type Plover, return to the Plover Room and with your lamp, and enter the dark room via the northeast command. This video explains how the emerald and platinum, how to get the emerald. Okay, so let's watch this video here, Colossal Cave Adventure. It's going to show me how to do this. So maybe this walkthrough can help me. I'm not going to include the video, but you may hear the audio a bit in passing. Let's play Colossal Cave Part 4. So this is a graphical version. I'm hoping it'll be some kind of similarity. Okay, this is not what I want to do. It's a graphical version. Take their emerald and walk west. Let's just do that. Inventory. You're currently holding the following egg size emerald. West. Take all. Take lamp. Take bottle. And take axe and Plover. So I don't know the word Plover. Plover, not Plover. Plover. P-L-O-V-E. You're in the alcove. I don't know how to apply that word here. Inventory. Okay. We've got the We got the dwarf's axe, we got the brass lantern, the small bottle, and the egg-sized emerald. We seem to be stuck here. I'm stuck with this. This is a very tricky little test here. And I'm very... I'm going to give this thing one more chance to find me an easy solution that will get me the emerald or give me the password. All right, let's look at another walkthrough here. Colossal Cave Text Adventure walkthrough. Plover room. Let's see if we can find that hidden I just want to find the Plover password. There's a 50% chance hearing the Plover magic word sound every time we enter the room. So is it like a strange, like a little once in a while kind of chance that you don't get all the time? I'm looking at the IGN.com walkthrough. Plover. The player has a 50% chance of hearing this each time we enter the Plover room in the Orient. The teleports the player between the Plover room and the Y2 if used in either room. Note the emerald is left behind if we are carrying it when we use Plover. So if we enter the Plover room and then exit, so I think it says here, if I'm not mistaken, to get after getting the emerald, we need to get the magic word Plover by continuously walk between the Plover room and dark room. So just enter from the Plover room, we go into the dark room, come back in, come back out. We don't go exploring the dark room like I was doing before. All right, let's just restore where we left off because I want to save me a lot of time. I know that a lot of podcast listeners here want me to get to the point. Let's look. You're in a small chamber lit by a green light, an extremely narrow tunnel. Exit to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. Let's go to north corridor, northeast. Pitch black. If you proceed, you most likely fall into a pit. Then we want to go south. You're in the Plover room. Then we want to go northeast again. It is now pitch black, dark. If you proceed, you most likely fall in the pit. Then you want to go south, Plover room, northeast. Nothing there. South. Out of the shadows behind is the bearded pirate. He snatches your treasures and vanishes into the gloom. You're in the Plover room. Let's see what happens if I go a little further. Northeast, pitch black, south. You're in the Plover room, northeast, south. You're in a small chamber lit by a eerie green light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. The dark corner leads northeast. Northeast. Nothing yet. Northeast. Are you trying to explore beyond the Plover room? No. South. Northeast. 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 South. northeast, south, northeast, south, northeast, south, northeast, south, northeast, no, northeast, east. I'm going to try one more time here. Climbing the basement and the beanstalk, the 2-pit room. I know there's something here about the entering the dark room in Orient. To enter the dark room, we need to use the Plover magic word while in the Y2 room. This lets us bring a lantern into the Plover room, which is required to enter the dark room and collect the platinum pyramid. I should have known that. So how do I get that? Squeezing through the tight gap in Orient alcove, Plover. In order to squeeze through the tight gap of the Orient region between alcove and Plover, we need to have no items in our inventory. Done, okay, including the lamp. Just drop them on the floor and walk through. This is the only room beyond the cobble crawl that is safe to navigate without a lantern. There's a 50% chance of hearing the Plover magic word every time we enter this room. And the magic word is required for completing the game. If you don't hear it, just keep walking between this room and the emerald altar until you do. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go back a bit. I'm going to go back and see if I can retrace my steps. Restore. So we're in the alcove. We didn't take the emerald in this case. So let's go look. You are in an alcove, a small northwest pass. Seems to widen after a short distance. An extremely tight tunnel looks east. It looks like a very tight squeeze, and an eerie light can be seen at the other end. Inventory. You're currently holding the following: the brass lantern, small bottle, and dwarf's axe. Drop lantern. Okay, drop bottle. Okay, and drop axe. Done. All right. So once we do that part, once we drop the axe, we go east. You're in a small chamber lit by an eerie light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. There is an emerald here the size of a plover's egg. So if we go, let's exit the room. West. Alcove, east. Plover room. There's an emerald here the size of a plover's egg. Go west again. And go east again. Nothing yet. West. East. You're in a Plover. There's an egg, the emerald again. West, east, west. You're in an alcove, a small northwest passage leads to widen after a short distance. An extremely tight tunnel leads east. It looks like a very tight squeeze, and the eerie light can be seen at the other end. And east. All right, let's take. So, do we take the emerald first? So just drop in and walk through. This is the only room between the cobble crawl that is safe to navigate without a lit lantern. There's a 50% chance of hearing the Plover word every time we enter this room, and that magic word is required for completing the game. If you don't hear it, just keep walking between this room and the emerald altar until you do. Emerald, entering the dark room. So we don't want to enter the dark room. We avoid the dark room. Inventory. You're carrying nothing. Look. You're in a small chamber. Nothing else. North. You're in a Plover room. West. You're in an alcove. East. Plover room, and we want to go west again and east. Plover room. Are trying to explore beyond the plover room? No. West, east. Oh, a little dwarf with a big knife blocks your way. There's a threatening little dwarf in the room with you. One sharp, nasty knife is thrown at you. It miss. You're in an alcove. Go east again. You're in a plover room. There's an emerald the size of a plover's egg. Take emerald. I think we're supposed to take the emerald first. Alright, I've taken the emerald. Plover room and dark room. North. Out of the shadows, bearded pirate, and he took my emerald. So let's restore. Look. Alright, so we're in the alcove again. We're going to drop lantern, drop axe, drop bottle. Go east. Small chamber with an eerie green light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor leads northeast. There's an emerald here the size of a plover's egg. Take emerald. And then we want to go north. I took it again. Restore. Let's go back to where we were. We got an extremely narrow tunnel. The west, a dark corridor leads northeast. Continuously walk between the plover room and dark room, north, until you learn the plover magic room. North. There's no way to go in that direction. West. And east. Plover room. West. East. North. East. Northwest. Dark quarter leads northeast. That's not where I want to go, so I want to go south, east, northwest, east. You're in a small chamber lit by a near green light. An extremely narrow tunnel exits to the west. A dark corridor northwest, east. Are you trying to explore beyond the plover room? Let's try yes. I'm prepared to give you a hint, but it will cost you 5 points. Do you want a hint? Yes, please. There is a way to explore that region without having to worry about falling into a pit. None of the objects available is immediately useful in discovering the secret. How about if I type in Plover? Plover is now pitch dark. If you proceed, you most likely fall into a pit. Plover again. You're in the plover room. There's an emerald here the size of a plover's egg. Take emerald. Alright, so I've taken the emerald. I'm going to move on because this is really bugging me, and we can always correct it later if we need to. And then we want to go exit to the tight crack, west, take lamp, take bottle, take axe, inventory. We're carrying the dwarf's axe, emerald, a small bottle, and brass lantern. And we'll save this as emerald taken. Yes, let's go. We've taken the emerald. We'll worry about plover later. Now we want to, once we got the items that we want, and then we want to go inventory, score, +2 for seeing the emerald. Let's score. If you quit now, you would score 115 out of a possible 350. Do you wish to quit now? No. So we're supposed to have 107. We got 115, which is really good. From the alcove, head back to the Orient room. So how do we get to the Orient room? Look, you're in an alcove, a small northwest passage. Seems to widen after a short distance. An extremely tight tunnel leads east. So we're going to go northwest. You're in Misty Cavern. We want to go to the Orient room. Northwest. There's no way to go in that direction. South. Oriental room. There is a delicate, precious Ming vase here. Excellent. So we got the vase here. Once we find the vase, collect the Ming vase. Take vase. Inventory. We got the Ming vase, the emerald, the dwarf's axe, a small bottle, and the brass lantern. Save as Oriental room. We'll say Ming vase taken. So we've taken the Ming vase, which is good. So once we take the Ming vase, we want to exit southeast to the Swiss cheese room. Southeast, you're in the Swiss cheese room, and then we want to head east to soft room. Head east to soft room. You're in the soft room. A soft velvet pillow lies on the floor. Let's save our progress here. Save as soft room. So we're in the soft room. Collect velvet pillow. Take pillow. Okay. Let's save the game. Excuse me. Soft room. We'll say pillow taken. We've taken the pillow. Head back to Swiss cheese room. Northwest. Look. You're in a soft room. The walls are covered with heavy curtains. The floor with a thick pile carpet. Moss covers the ceiling. Well, how do I get out of there? East, west. Go to west. You're in the Swiss cheese room. Excellent. We're back in the Swiss cheese room. And they want to exit northeast to bed quilt. Northeast. Bed quilt. Save. Save our progress. As bed quilt. Bed quilt. So we've saved bed quilt. Inventory. We have brass lantern, velvet pillow, small bottle, dwarf's axe, and Ming vase, as well as an emerald. And according to this, you're supposed to have, and after going to bed quilt, inventory emerald, lit lantern, axe, bottle, empty vase, and pillow, which is what we want. Small bottle. Okay, so once we check our inventory, we want to check our score. If you were to quit now, you would score 150 out of a possible 350. No, I don't wish to quit, but I just want to check. The score should be 109 for seeing the vase. So we've excelled. We have even more than the walkthrough has. So we don't want to quit. So once we picked the vase and we looked at our score, head east to Complex Junction. East. You're in the Complex Junction. Save the game. We want to save this as Complex Junction. Complex Junction. So we've saved the Complex Junction. We want to look. You are in a complex junction. A low hands and knees passage from the north joins a higher crawl from the east to make a walking passage going west. There is a large room here above. The air is damp here. It says in this room, complex junction, climb ladder. Climb ladder? Oh, you are in a climb ladder. You're in a dusty rock room. Is that right? Head east in dirty broken passage and climb ladder to HOM. Ignore bars of silver. Head east. You're in a dirty passage. Okay. Head in dirty broken passage and climb ladder to HOM. Look. You're in a dirty passage. In the east is a crawl. To the west is a large passage. Above you is a hole to another passage. Up. You're in a north-south passage. Let's look. You're in a north-south passage at a hole in the floor. The hole goes down to an east-west passage. Head north to ignore bars of silver. I don't know if I got the north balls or bars of silver. Head north to the Y2. Head north. You're at Y2. Use Plu inventory. Look. You're in a large room with a passage to the south, a passage to the west, and a wall of broken rock to the east. There's a large Y2 in the room and a rock at the room center. The hollow voice says Plu. We want to type in Plu. Inside the building, there is a Persian rug spread out on the floor. There are many coins here. There are bars of silver here. There is precious jewelry here. I shouldn't have taken the bar of silver. That was not a good move. There is a large sparkling nugget of gold here. There is food here. So what do I do now? If I've got the emerald, I've got all my items there. And we want to, in the well house building, drop the pillow. You must do this before vase, emerald. Fill bottle with water. Click on the water source with the empty bottle. So let's inventory. And we want to drop emerald. Drop Ming. Yes. Oh! No. Shoot. It says here, you must do this before the vase, or you'll damage the vase. So let's go back, retrieve our file where we left off. Which was pillow room, open. Let's look. We're in a soft room, walls are covered with heavy curtains. Inventory, Ming vase, velvet pillow. So we're just we're going back to where we were at the pillow room, Swiss cheese room, and bed quilt. So let's go retrieve to bed quilt. So let's look again. You're at bed quilt, a long east-west passage with holes everywhere. To explore random, select north, south, up, or down. Head back to Swiss cheese room. Bed quilt. We want to go east to Complex Junction. You're at Complex Junction. Let's retrieve where we left off at the Complex Junction. So let's look again. No, I didn't mean to do that. No, I don't want to do any. I don't want to do any of this. Not restore. Restore to the Complex Junction, please. Let's look. You wish to restart? No. Thought you're supposed to go into full screen mode. No, I don't want to do that. Let's go back to bed quilt. So let's look. We're in bed quilt. Now we're going to Complex Junction. Let's look. You're in the Complex Junction. A low hands and knees passage from the north joins a higher crawl from the east to make a walk-in passage going west. There's a large room above. The air is damp here. So once we're in the Complex Junction, we climb ladder. So let's go up. Dusty rock room. Head east to dirty broken passage. East. Dirty passage. And climb ladder to HO to above. Close. Go up. North-south passage. Let's look. You're in a north-south passage at a hole in the floor. The hole goes down to the east-west passage. Once we're in the north-south passage, ignore bars of silver. Head north to Y2. North. You're at Y2. Blue. Take silver. Taken. And we want to go north south again. No. Blue. We're at Y2. Once we're in Y2 again, I'm going to drop the silver where it came from. I head north to the Y2. Head south. North. Drop silver. Okay. Once we ignore the silver, because I should have did that from the first time, head north to Y2. and go type in PLUGH, and we want to do the following. We want to drop the vase, but first we drop the pillow. Drop pillow. Okay? And now drop vase. The vase is now resting delicately on a velvet pillow. Excellent. So we didn't want to drop that vase on the hard rock surface. Inventory. Drop emerald. Yes. And what else do we want to drop? It says you must do this before the vase is the pillow. Fill the bottle with water. Fill bottle. Your bottle is now full of water. Save as we'll save this as we're in the well house building. Well house, and we'll save this as after emerald pillow and Ming. So we save that. We want to save our progress. So we got the emerald, fill the bottle with water, click on the water source with empty bottle, collect keys, tasty food. Take keys, okay, inventory. I lost my keys. Now I'm gonna find my keys. Look. A small fill. You have many coins here, precious jewelry, and a nugget of gold. Take food. Wonder what happened to my keys. Could have dropped them in the Y2 room. Wonder if it's there. So we're supposed to have the keys. PLUGH. You're at Y2. Look. You're in a large room with a passage to the south, a passage to the west, and a wall of broken rock to the east. There's a large Y2 in the rock in the room center. Look. Inventory. You're carrying a brass lantern, tasty food, small bottle, water in the bottle, and dwarves axe. Let's check out the score. Yeah, you now have a score of 133 out of a possible 350. Which is less than what we had before. So what we're going to do, we're going to save our game here. I'm going to no. There's still more I have to do. So I'm going to see if I can find the keys off the camera. So we're in the Y2 room, and we're going to see where we can go from there. You're in a large room with a passage to the south, a passage to the west, and a wall of broken rock to the east. There's a large Y2 on the rock in the room center. Take keys. I see no keys here. I lost my keys, so I'm going to have to find my keys later. So let's save as we'll save as Y2 room. Y2 room after emerald pillow and vase. drop off. So we're going to save our game here, and we'll recover our keys next time. So we didn't find the keys yet. I've lost my keys. I don't know what happened to them. So we'll figure it out. So we will quit the game for now. Yes, we're going to quit. Yes. You scored 130 out of possible 350 using 277 turns. You may now consider yourself a seasoned adventurer. To achieve the next higher rating, you need 67 more points. Hit any key to continue or exit. All right, so stop sharing. And there you have it, folks. That was our walkthrough for this week of our ASMR of Colossal Cave Adventure. I had a little bit of a fun time and a little bit of frustration time. So I hope I found a little bit of enjoyment for myself and a little bit of enjoyment for you. Perhaps it's been helpful for you as well. Took some notes on how to get through some very difficult areas, but we'll continue on next week. So thanks for watching. This has been Taco and Text Adventure Tuesday with your host Jeremy. Make sure to send some likes and loves and subscribe to Video Gamers Oasis on YouTube. Follow this podcast on Spotify as well as my YouTube channel, Video Gamers Oasis. I do appreciate it, and we'll see you again next week. We'll continue on our adventure in the Colossal Caves. The next time, hopefully, I should have my keys ready by that time. So thanks for watching, and bye for now.